Hey, what's going on? How y'all doing out there? This is Uncle Steve's Lounge. Just wanted to give y'all a little bit of echo in here. What is going on? How y'all doing? Welcome to the Monday Minutia. I am your host, Uncle Steve. Thank you for joining me here. As y'all coming in, we are going to talk about the Atlanta Falcons 2025 version. What's coming up? What do we expect? What changes are we expecting in 2025? I know the hot button topic today is who's going to lead this year's defense, and I'm sure that will come with a lot of folks' opinion about who to bring in here. I have my own, but it might not be who you think it is. Let's get the show started and catch y'all on the other side.
You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Gonna sit down, have a good time. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Gonna sit down, have a good time. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Gonna sit down, have a good time. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Gonna sit down, have a good time. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Gonna sit down, have a good time. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Gonna sit down, have a good time.
What is going on? How's everybody doing out there? Welcome to the Monday Minutia. It is Monday. It is January 13th. Hope everyone down in the Atlanta area and the southeastern parts of the United States getting thawed out today after last week's slightly unexpected little storm. I know people in the north are probably laughing at us, but it's all good. We do what we can down south. But we're here. It's Monday. Again, lots to talk about when you start talking about the Atlanta Falcons. We're talking about the winds of change today. 2025 is upon us. We can turn the back and talk about whatever you want to talk about as far as the Atlanta Falcons, and we can keep going back to what was and what could have been in 2024. But I want to get some opinions on 2025 and what we have going forward, some of the changes. I usually use a couple of reference points, Spot Track and Pro Football Reference a lot of times for a lot of my data. So I'll be using some of that today, looking at the salary cap, looking at some of the players that may be asked to take a cut, some that should be cut, possibly, in my opinion, and some of those folks that we just might move on from in 2025 in order to have a successful season. Also, as you all know, over the last couple of days, Atlanta let go of their defensive coordinator, Jimmy Lake, much to the joy of most of the Atlanta Falcons fan base, even though some of them wanted a package deal with Raheem Morris. Couldn't get that, but you did at least get one response to what happened this year. And Atlanta is basically saying, it's all your fault, Jimmy. So you are this year's scapegoat, and you had to pay the price for a horrible season, especially near the end. So I do want to talk to you all about that. And I'm going to ask y'all straight up about certain players, and do you all think that they still should be here or not? If you do, we'll take an informal survey and see how that goes. Again, as you're coming in, please hit the like button for me on YouTube. Is Uncle Steve's Lounge on YouTube. If you're watching me on Facebook, thank you so much. You are a very valued person being a friend on my page on Facebook. However, if you don't mind, if you haven't already, slip over there to that YouTube channel and hit that subscribe button so you can get us out there into the YouTube world with things. So I'm gonna slide right into the comment sections today, because I'm very interested and I want to hear how people are going to respond to some of the ideas and some of the thoughts I may have on this upcoming season. Big John Higgins leads us off here. What's going on, brother? How you doing today? Say, Uncle Steve, what's happening with you? Well, we're looking for a defense coordinator. I think they used the defense coordinator and D-line coach as scapegoats. I sit back and listen. Thank you, friend. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm in that boat too. You can't have a especially an ending of the season like you did and not have some blame to go around. And you think about it, it is very reminiscent. I said I was going to go forward today, but it is very reminiscent of 2023 when the Falcons were legitimately still in the hunt a little bit, and we ended up getting destroyed by Chicago on the road, and then came home and I take that back. Destroyed by Chicago on the road and on the road against New Orleans in two horrible games. That's almost like the team just ran out of gas at the end, and maybe we need to get somebody who can come in there and have that effort from game 1 through game 17. Maybe that's what we're looking at. Rusty Moore's in the house. What's going on, Rusty? He said, what's up, my friend? I think Wilkes or Obridge should be the betting favorites, although I would prefer Dennis Allen or Robert Saleh. Both run man and blitz a lot. I love that style of defense. You know, and that's one of the things I think I don't want people to get it twisted when they start. When I heard the name Dennis Allen yesterday, and that was a name, quite honestly, that didn't hit my radar. But I was thinking about that. Dennis Allen was actually a pretty good defensive coordinator. If you think about it, he was the one that was running a lot of those early Saints teams when Sean Payton, when Drew Brees basically became a slant throwing quarterback and you had to rely on the defense. That was Dennis Allen running that show most of the time. And sometimes everybody may not be suited to be a head coach. And he could be one of those folks. I keep going back to Steve Spagnuolo, who's now with the Kansas City Chiefs. Steve Spagnuolo had his opportunity to be a head coach, and he did not do well, but went back to what he loved, and 3 more Super Bowls later, you know, he's still doing what he's doing, his expertise in, you know, calling defenses. So, yeah, I'm not mad at either of those names that you have up there, whether it be Wilkes, Obridge, Dennis Allen, or Robert Saleh, as long as you win, man. Jada's in the house. What's going on, Jada? Good to see you. Thank you for joining us in Uncle Steve's Lounge on the Monday Minutia. Appreciate it. Millie Mills in the house. What's up, Millie Mills? How you feeling, brother? Antara Moody is in the house as well. What is going on? Thank y'all for joining me here on a Monday Minutia. Appreciate you. Oh, we got our first super chat of the day. It's an old friend. It's our brother, Big Low Country Sports in the house. What's going on, Big Low? And for him specially today.
If they say why, tell them Uncle Steve will read your comment. Why? Cause I do it that way. If they say why, Uncle Steve will read your comment. Why? 'cause I do it that way.
Appreciate the love from Big Low Country Sports. Y'all know where he is, man. Y'all make sure y'all check him out on YouTube. He's always on Twitter doing his thing. Y'all make sure y'all check him out on Big Low Country Sports. He says, what in the world, Bo? What's up, bro? How you feeling today, man? Hope your Monday is going well with you. Hope everybody else as well is thawing out again in the ice cold. I don't do cold well. I don't know why. I know it's a beautiful thing to look at. It's exciting to know I can't go to work during that time. Man, I just can't make it. But I hope everybody else is thawed out there. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you, brother. Jala says, who should we hire for a defense coordinator in your opinion? I would say right now, honestly, coming right off the rip, I think I would go in this order. I would go Steve Wilkes, Robert Saleh, Jeff Ulbrich, and then Dennis Allen. The only reason I didn't go Dennis Allen, I want to be honest, a little bit higher was because he wasn't one of the first ones I thought about. Ra has worked with Ulbrich before when he was here. Robert Saleh has showed what he can do, not only in Frisco, but even when the Jets didn't have a great offense, he could call a defense. And it is no coincidence that defense went very low after he left, or was fired, I should say, in New York. I'm not surprised that their defense did not play as well either. 3:30 in the house. What is going on, my friend? Good to see you. Thank you for joining us on Uncle Steve's Lounge. This is the Monday Minutia. Mr. Moody says, got that Steely Dan feel to your intro music. And you know what? That's actually cool because I love me some Steely Dan. And I have such a vast influence in my musical mind, and Steely Dan is right up there, man. Asia is one of the best albums ever made. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go look it up. Steely Dan. I was listening to Deacon Blues the other day, man. Those cats could really do their thing. I know my man trying to think, not Walter. Walter died. I'm trying to think what his name is. But anyway, he's still touring with Michael McDonald and Boz Scaggs a little bit ago. LAJ is in the house. What is going on, man? How you doing? Thank you for joining us on Uncle Steve's Lounge. Millie Mills says, as long as the DC isn't Brandon Staley or Ryan Nielsen, I'm cool with it. I was referring to the Ryan Nielsen thing. And don't get me wrong, y'all. I'm not trying to say Ryan Nielsen didn't do a good job when he was here, especially considering the roster that he had. He did an okay job when he was here, but I don't know, man. I just feel like it would be nice maybe to go in another direction when you start talking about that. I think if Ryan Nielsen was that good, I think Raheem would have kept him here in place, but he didn't. So, hey, James Dockery is here. What's going on, James? What's good, Unc? Rise up from Kentucky. Thank you, James. I appreciate you, brother. Hope y'all doing well. I don't know if y'all got snow or not. Y'all probably did. Hope y'all stayed warm as well. T Walker is in here too. What's up, T? Happy Monday. Say, I hope they pick someone who will energize the fan base again. They sucked all the air out of the fans with the way we finished. Look, I'm all, and that's cool thought. I'm a very big momentum guy. If you got the dome rocking, you got the beans rocking, it can make a difference. But you know what? I just need somebody who can coach, man. I need somebody not only who can coach, but can coach young talent. Because I do feel like this upcoming year, especially with some of the handcuffing we have of the salary cap, and I want to get some misnomers about the salary cap too. A lot of people losing their mind about some things, and I just want to put that in perspective. when we start talking about it, but we'll get to that in a second. Say hello to Jimmy Wayne Hall in the house. What's up, Jimmy Wayne? Good to see you, my friend. Thank you for joining us here on Uncle Steve's Lounge, as well as my buddy Justin Swisher. What's up, Unc? Why wouldn't we get Nielsen back? Again, I'm not saying Nielsen wasn't a good guy. I don't know. Maybe I just want to try something new, I think. He did a good job. I wouldn't mind. Let's see what Saleh is about. Let's see. I would probably, honestly, pick Dennis Allen over Ryan Nielsen at this point. I know Dennis Allen can coach defense. So, Dwayne Green, what's going on, Dwayne? So, what's up, Uncle Steve? I am eager to see who are they going to hire as DC, who we are keeping and letting go. That's what we're going to get into here in a couple of minutes. Miller Mills says, definitely laughing at y'all. It snows down there and the whole state shuts down. It snows up here and business is running on all shifts. It takes 8 inches or more before we get a 2-hour delay. Hey, man. Hey, I'm sorry, bro. That's just how it goes down here in the South, man. We ain't trying to hear that buying 20, 30 slow plows like they do up north. But you're right. It does kind of shut down. But this was the first significant snow we've had in Atlanta since 2018. So I kind of don't blame them. And they did a much better job this year. The last time we had something very similar to this, where it was kind of a shut the city down type snow, we weren't ready for it. And that was like in 2014. But they did a much better job getting the word out, telling people to get off the roads, things like that. So it did work out, but hey, man, it is what it is. It's the South, baby. Jimmy Hall says Justin Nielsen, Ryan Nielsen, I'm sure, was fool's gold. Yeah, maybe so, but I think he had a less talented roster. That's the one reason I'll give Ryan Nielsen his props. He had a less talented roster, in my opinion, from a defensive standpoint. We had a little bit of an upgrade this year. Now, we had some parts that were missing. I'm not trying to say this guy is the cat's me out. I'm really interested to see Braylon Trice when he comes back, because I've said this several times, a big UW fan from my time in the military up in Washington when I was in the state of Washington. And so I really keep up with UW. I was on Michael Penix, not necessarily for the Falcons, because I didn't know he was going to end up here. But when I found out, that made me excited, because I saw a lot of Michael Penix up there. I paid attention to him, and I could have told people that he was going to be as good as advertised. But Braylon Trice is somebody I'm excited about. I also was kind of excited to see how Helms is going to develop in this system and see what he was going to be. I know a lot of people are ready to give up on Troy Anderson, but guess what? Troy Anderson, right now, and I'm looking real quick, and I'm going to put some of this stuff up here a little later on. But Troy Anderson is only costing us $1.9 million right now. In the worst case scenario, he could be depth, and he's still under contract. So I don't know. I really like to see what a healthy version of this team is. Nobody can really say anything about, how that's gonna turn out, because injuries happen to everybody. I felt sorry for Green Bay yesterday. They weren't gonna win that game, but dude, all the receivers went out of the game. What does Jordan love to do? Like, everybody went out. Watson was out before the game. Dobbs out, unfortunately. That concussion caught up with him. And then what's the little cat was running around in there? I can't even think what his name is, but he got hurt. So what do you do? Dexter Owens, what's going on, Dexter? He said, I would open up the checkbook for Rex. We need somebody who can lead men, which I know ain't going to happen, but my next choices are Saleh, Wilkes, Allen, Mayo, Jared Mayo. Okay, that could be kind of interesting. That could really be kind of interesting if you think about it. I mean, we really could. I could see that. I could definitely see that. I'm gonna tell you the only thing about Rex Ryan. Y'all. Rex Ryan is somebody that I know I hear a lot of folks complain about our buddy Raheem and all the slick talk, salesman talk, and all that stuff. And I'm trying to tell y'all, I think he's kind of the same thing, if you ask me. I think he's one of those cats who you're gonna get a lot of talk, you're gonna get a lot of bravado. I don't know if you're gonna get. I don't know if you're gonna get, that type. I don't know. I just think he's kind of more of a. I don't know. I'm not feeling Rex Ryan. I'm really not. I'm really not. Bigelow Country Sports says no. I know on the human nature. Well, let me tell you something. I could hit the note, but it's Monday, and I don't want to. I don't want to. You are wrong for that, man. You are wrong for that. Kelvin, what's going on, Kelvin? How you doing, sir? Hope everything is going well with you, my friend. Hold on 1 second, y'all. I'm trying to figure some stuff out real quick. And there we go. Kelvin says, question for Unc in the chat. I'm a Gamecock and proud of it. How good is this Walker kid that some fans say we should draft? Yeah, he's pretty good. He's actually pretty good. I would definitely invest some time into him, and yeah, I would take him in a heartbeat. I'm trying to. All of a sudden, my StreamYard start acting a fool. That's why I'm kind of pausing, y'all. Here we go. We got another super chat in the house. Our brother Willie Doc in the house. What's going on? New subscriber, showing some Maze High love. Maze High. Gotta give Maze some love, man. Several family members went to Doug, who is number one on your defense coordinator list. First of all, I got to give you that super chat love first.
Super chat with. Super chat with. Super chat with. Super chat with.
Thank you, Willie Doc. I appreciate you, brother. Maze High, I got a lot of people from Maze High too. I probably came out. I don't know how young you are, my friend. I probably came out a long time before you, but yeah, I had quite a few. I had quite a few friends at Maze High, and we are still close. Matter of fact, one of my buddies I just ran into not too long ago, and I just found out that one of my buddies, Red, went to Maze. I didn't know that either, but we got a lot of friends between Maze, big time rivals, but we had a lot of friends from Maze High. Number one on my DC list right now, like I said, Robert Saleh at the moment, but I will say my list is fluid. My list is very fluid. You could probably pull me in another direction right now, but I think it can go either way. It can go either way. Willie, appreciate the love, man. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you, my friend. Rusty said the fact that people want Nielsen back like the Jags didn't have the 32nd ranked team in the league this year is truly mind-boggling. Please explain to me what I'm missing. We are a creature of familiarity here in Atlanta. Just like every year, y'all hear y'all keep hearing the thoughts of, oh man, we should bring him back. We should bring them back. We should bring them back. We should bring them back. And it's not, it's not the fact that some people don't deserve a second chance back, but I want to move forward. Now, of course, that looks like a hypocritical statement when we got Raheem Morris in here. But I mean, yeah, it's one of those things where you kind of like, I don't know. I really do feel like that I just don't want to go that route again. I just don't want to do it. I really don't. I say let's hold tight. Let's hold tight on the reunion. LAJ says, I don't want anybody that's worked with Morris in the past here in Atlanta because the defense didn't look elite at any point. Give me Dennis Allen or Robert Saleh. I'm sure you meant on that. That's actually a good. That's probably. I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that thought process. James says we got about 7 inches when y'all got that weather. About 3 more Friday nights trying to dig ourselves out as we speak. Oh man, so y'all in worse shape than we are, man. Y'all be safe, man. Be safe. Jimmy says, I think if Raheem was more hands-on as reported, that's why Lake and Rogers got axed. My replacements are Wilkes and Jeff Zonga as defensive line coach. Yeah, we got to get a defensive line coach as well. That'd be cool. I heard a couple of people talking about Chuck Smith. Chuck Smith probably don't want anything to do with the Falcons because they didn't want anything to do with him earlier too. I don't even know if is he still with the Ravens? I don't know. Antonio, what's going on, brother? How you doing, sir? He said Salah's going to Jacksonville or Dallas. We'll see. I mean, you got to remember now, the one thing I can say now, if you're looking at Atlanta is probably a very, I know what fans here are going to say because of what we didn't do at the end. It's probably an attractive place to play, seeing as how you have a really good quarterback coming back for Atlanta. I think this could be a destination that some coaches might want to say, oh, okay, if y'all got it on offense, then let me handle the defense, and then this team gonna do some things. So I would look at that as a plus for anybody wanting to come to Atlanta. Guns and Saints in the house. What's going on, brother? He says, you Falcons haven't swept us since 2016. Y'all are gonna go a full decade without sweeping the Saints. Well, this may be true, my friend, but it ain't like the Saints got a lot to holler about these days either. Y'all are the last place team in here. I'm just seeing some stuff on here. I think we got a special guest in the house. I'm gonna see if the special guest is up here. Let me pull it up here. And folks, we got Coach Raw in the house. We giving it up. Coach.
Key. Hey, man. Really enjoy all the great content that you're doing out here, man. Really love it. Really love it,
man. Coach, I mean, I'm kind of surprised, Coach. It seemed like you were a little testy at a lot of the press conference. I didn't know if you want to talk to the fans or anything, man. It's an honor for you to be here, man.
Man, come on, Steve, man. Testy never there. I'm going to answer all the questions in an accelerated form because I don't want you to think that, it's a situation where I'm going to really tell you the truth. So while I'm trying to sell you this 2027 Toyota Prius, I also want you to know that, we were never testy. We never tested.
Okay. Well, Ross, since I got you already here and everything, first of all, I want to thank you for, we improved one game, Raw. So I appreciate the hard work that you moved from 7 to 10 to 8 9.
Well, first of all, I'm going to answer this question before you finish asking it. Look, it was definitely a lot of hard work. I told y'all that we were going to outrun the South, and essentially that's what we did. We outran the South. We ran, we won 4 games and we lost 2. So I kept up my end of the bargain.
Well, Raheem, and I guess you did, Ra. What do you say to those people that say that your qualifications as a head coach are not up to the standards that you sold us between February and September.
Well,
as a lot of hesitation for you, Raheem. You usually feel a little quicker than that.
well, I would be completely honest with you, Uncle Steve. It's all right if I call you Uncle Steve, right?
Oh, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay. It depends on what's your definition of expectations. I don't know. I don't. Depends on what you know. What the definition of that is.
I mean, it sounded like you told us we were going to outrun the South. I remember in October, after we had such a brilliant 6-3 start, I noticed a lot of optimism and a lot of bravado coming from you right now. And then that 2-6 ending, man, and then especially your thought process of saving timeouts to 2025. I was kind of wondering what was your mindset in the last few games of the year.
I don't have to answer questions about timeouts. I don't have to do that. That's not something I have to do. Okay, everyone's telling me what I have to do. I'm the coach. So, as far as timeouts, I told y'all I told you what I was thinking, okay? I told you what I was thinking, Uncle Steve. You never asked me one question about my capri pants and my Jordans yet, Uncle Steve. That's what I thought you were going to ask me about.
Well, Rod, we, in Atlanta, we all wear capris. Dudes don't wear capris like that. So we're gonna skip to that part. Let me ask you another question real quick. At this time, we saw the defense just shutter down at the end. A lot of people saying that you use your good friend Jimmy Lake as a scapegoat. What do you say to those people?
Yes, we sprinkled curry seasoning on top of them and threw them on the grill. He's a scapegoat. I'm just going to be completely honest with you, Uncle Steve.
That's kind of cool. I also wanted to ask you about your reported beef with Mike Bell and the folks over at 92.9 The Game. It seemed like you got a little testy with him when he was asking you about those situations where you failed at the end of the Washington Commanders game, sir.
I don't. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I don't like Mike Bell. I don't like him. I don't like his dog. I don't like the fact that he plays golf all the time. I don't like the fact that his voice sounds like he swallowed some sandpaper. I just don't like Mike Bell. I don't like 92.9 The Game, Rob Tribble. I don't like any of those guys. I don't like the car Mike Bell drives. I don't like them. I just don't like Mike Bell. So that's completely correct, Uncle Steve. Me and Mike Bell are definitely beefing right now.
I hear you. I think there are some anti-Mike Bell fans that probably agree with you in that sense. I wanted to talk to you about your other buddy, Terry Fontenot, your partner in crime.
Terry, that's my dog. That's my dog.
I could tell you guys kind of read the same script the other day. So I'm asking when we were trying to get some stuff out of him about Kirk Cousins, he said he was comfortable, the word was, as Kirk going on with as your backup quarterback. Do you concur with this idea that he's going to be your backup quarterback, Coach?
Well, Uncle Steve, I'm going to be completely honest with you. A lie doesn't care who tells it.
I was Coach Raw, I know you got a lot of stuff to do, and I'm trying my best to reach my good friend Big Low to hear his thoughts on some of the new things. But I did want to end the season with asking you, what are your predictions for 2025 in this Atlanta Falcons team?
Y'all might want to buy a lot of Hennessy. Thank you.
Folks, I mean, I guess we want to thank Coach Raheem Morris for some semblance of him coming on the show to discuss what's going to happen in 2025. I don't know. That was very That was very unexpected. I appreciate Coach Raw coming by. Thanks, Coach. I don't know what to say after that. So y'all got some of your questions answered. So let's we'll move on with that. Y'all, let's see. Oh man, Millie Mill said, in my opinion, Jordan Love didn't show he was the captain last night, but he has to use those legs a little more in the playoffs to go get it, especially against that Philly D. It just keeps them guessing. Yeah, to be honest with you, I didn't think Jalen Hurts looked that great either. I think he looked okay, but Jalen Hurts looked a little interesting yesterday, if y'all really break it down. So, but Jordan Love is young, man. I mean, he still has time on his side. He's not going anywhere, neither are the Packers. So I think they'll be fine. Dwayne said, do you think Lovie Smith is willing to come back to the NFL? I don't know, man. I haven't heard a lot from Lovie since he left Illinois. I don't know. That's a good question. Very good question. Jimmy Hall says, if we go D-line edge, Abdul, Carter, James, Pierce, or Jalen Walker, I'm not sure whether either one of those guys are going to get to us. I think Jalen Walker has a better chance of getting to us than Abdul. So we'll see. Willie Dot says class of 95. Okay, so all right. So a smidge younger, but you in the house, smidge younger. That's all good. It's all good, brother. Shout out to those Maze Raiders. Travis, what's going on, brother? How you doing, man? He said, hey, I prefer us being a 4-3. What say you? I'll be honest with you, Travis. At this point, whatever works. I've seen Atlanta have a 3-4 in here with Wade Phillips in work. I've also seen a 4-3 in here with in 16 when it worked. As long as whoever has a plan and we have the folks that can come in here, that's all that matters to me, man. That's all that matters. Miller Mill said it's like Love seeing his guys go down and he just gave up. Josh Allen, Patty, LJ8, or Burrow would never. Hell, even Hurts wouldn't either. He just showed signs of being soft. Yeah, and again, remember now, Mill, this is only his second year starting. I know he's been in the league, but he's only started a couple of years. I want to give him an opportunity and a chance to get in here. Now coming in here to the stage, somebody that I was trying to get in here, my brother, Big Low Country Sports is in the house. What's going on, brother?
What's going on? Oh, y'all doing all right now?
Man, I'm doing fine, brother. You will never believe, man, who shot up in here.
What?
Man, Coach Raw came up in here.
Shut up.
Came in here. Didn't seem like he was afraid to answer questions, too. He was kind of shaky, but he was trying to ask some questions in here about what's going on with the team. Yes. He was trying to answer.
Daggone. He probably trying to get ready for Tuesday night karaoke.
Man, he doing right fine, man. How's things going in your neck of the woods, my friend?
Man, I'm tired. Been working hard all day.
Man, that's how you got to do, man. I know we, as I was telling everybody else, we all coming out from underneath the weather this week. Hope everything went well for you as well, my friend.
Yeah, it went pretty good. The day before, Coach only had me go to a Lowe's in Chamblee from our place in Cobb County at 5:00 in the morning to get a kerosene heater, just in case the power went out. So I got up as a dutiful husband and got her kerosene heater.
Yeah, I'm a dutiful husband too, but if Uber's not working that early in the morning, that probably kerosene wasn't gonna get bought that day. But I don't know about I don't know about that. I don't know. Let me shout out a couple of folks in here just coming in. Dwayne Ruffin in the house. What's going on, Dwayne? Good to see you, man. Thank you for joining us here. My brother Tiny from Atlanta Bird Gang is in the house. Y'all make sure y'all check Toddy out on Atlanta Bird game. He was on doing his thing yesterday, talking about Atlanta Falcons changes, what's happening, what's going to be going on, and things of that nature. He did ask the question, how many state championships does Mays have in football? I can answer that question for you. 0. Because
Mays don't got no state championship.
nah, man. Mays got as many state championships as Douglas do. That I'm trying to think of the original city schools. Well, you know what? I know Mays made it to the Dome. They may have won one when they reclassified down. Because see, you got to remember back when we were in school, they only went to 4A. And Douglas, Mays, Washington, all the big time old schools were all 4A schools. So we weren't going to win any 4A championships. Tidy's trying to be tongue in cheek because all them little Central Georgia and South Georgia teams were ruling the day back then. That day has changed, but as is ruling the day. But I don't think Mays has won that many. I don't think he has. So I don't know. Big Mike, Island Mike is in the house. What's going on, Island Mike? He said, "Hey, who do you like? Who do you want for the DC? I like Steve Wilkes." I told you my at the moment, even though it can change, I'm gonna say Robert Saleh. Who do you say, Big Low, at this moment? And I'm pretty sure it's fluid for you as well.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty fluid.
Who do you like?
For me, as long as it's a guy who coached defensive line or linebackers. I don't want another defensive backs guy. I mean, Raheem Morris is a defensive backs guy. Jerry Gray is a defensive backs guy, and I feel like that kind of showed, whenever we couldn't get to the quarterback all season. So, yeah, I want the DC to be a preferably a defensive lineman guy or a linebackers guy. So the Robert Salehs of the world, Jeff Ulbrichts of the world, I'm more than happy with those guys. I know a lot of people tossing around Rex Ryan. Like, y'all understand Rex Ryan is getting paid handsomely to do TV. He's not going to come back to coaching just for a DC job. That's not going to happen. And
right.
With your point on, he's not going. I mean, he has a lot of Raheem Morris in him.
And you got to remember too, on top of that, Low, that's going to be a combustible mix, because I could see Rex Ryan kind of being a personality that Rod's the personality for the Falcons. He's not going to have any competition from Rex Ryan. And Rex Ryan will immediately be, like a problem. And I say that I don't even think that's a bad way. That's how Rex Ryan is. He's kind of the colorful, to your point, just like Ross, steal the press conference type guy. And I don't know if Ross can have two of those folks in the room at the same time when we talk about that. Dirty Bird 67's in the house. What's going on, man? He said Raw loves Terry. I'm sure he I know he does. Let me get a question in here for you, Lo. This is from Jada, and he says, I heard the Browns will be aggressive to get Kirk Cousins this offseason. Do you think we can trade Kyle, Kirk, and Grady for Myles Jarrett? I'm going to tell you right now, probably no. I don't think. I know a lot of people are thinking Myles Garrett is gonna want to leave, but I think that Myles Garrett is making a super handsome fee where he is at Cleveland, and though the trade would offset some of that, I'm just right now. I think we should concentrate on who the coach is, and it should be a leader of men who can teach these young men techniques, teach these young men how to play, as far as filling in some of those defensive spots. Not Now, don't get me wrong. If we had Myles Garrett, Max Crosby, or somebody of that ilk, I'm not saying no, but I am saying to put all our eggs in one basket. We just did that last spring. To do that again on defense, I think that would be counterintuitive. What do you say about his proposed trade of Kyle Kirk and Grady for Myles Garrett?
I don't think they would do. I don't think they would do that. I think that's a little bit too much. For I mean, trust me, Myles Garrett, he's always a defensive player of the year candidate and everything, but I just don't see that happening. I can see possibly being one of those players and maybe possibly like future draft picks, but I know that we're actually in the mind frame now that we're trying to keep draft picks. So I
Right.
mean, I just don't see a big name guy like that coming in a trade as of right now.
And the funny thing is, I'm a little torn of his list because I do feel like 2 or 3 of those guys are gonna be gone from here this year. I do think they look at Kyle's contract, um, and again, Kyle is counting $10 million against which to me is probably if you need a pass catching tight end in the NFL today, that's probably kind of cheap.
Yeah,
For a team, I do feel like he's tradable. Grady Jarrett could be kind of interesting. I've said this over and over again, and I don't want people to get it twisted. Grady Jarrett is probably the heart and soul of the Atlanta Falcons right now when it comes to, kind of the lineage, kind of the history and all of that. That being said, I'm going to put this up on the screen, and I know you probably can't see it low, but or maybe you can. I don't know. Hold on one second. Where? There we go. So Grady Jarrett this year, that's his contract. His cap hit this year is $15.25 million this year. And I have to ask, it is not being ungrateful, but I have to ask, is he that guy for that salary this year? Maybe the Falcons work something out where they can kind of get him to cut that back on a little bit, but that's a lot of money we paying Grady, and I'm just not sure, man. What do you think?
well, so for everybody that's watching, y'all might not know this, but Uncle Steve throws down on the barbecue grill. So whenever I leave Uncle Steve's house, I take 2 plates, and whenever I get the last of those leftovers and heat them up, I'm upset because I don't want, I'm like, dang, this is it, you know, and I feel like that's kind of how the Atlanta Falcons feel about Grady Jarrett. You think about it.
Right.
If you move on from Grady Jarrett, that's literally saying, hey, we moved on from 2016. That's literally, I mean, because Grady Jarrett, he was the heart and soul of that Super Bowl. That whole Super Bowl as far as defensively. If you move on from Grady Jarrett, you're literally saying, hey, we moved on as an organization. I feel like to a certain extent, that's why Raheem Morris is back. I feel like they want the big story to be Grady Jarrett going back and trying to get that Super Bowl ring one last time. So I feel like they're going to try to keep Grady until it's completely and glaringly obvious that he needs to go. So I'm thinking they might restructure his contract.
I'm thinking that too. There's no way. I don't think he goes into the season with a $15 million contract. And the sad thing is, it's not a lot we can do about it because his cap hit is $20 million next year. So remember, we restructured him a couple of years ago. So we're kind of paying the price on
Exactly.
that. And he got hurt last year. Now Grady was definitely had some spots, So I'm not trying to take that away from him, but I'm also saying to myself, yeah, it might be time to move away. I while I have you here, I did want to go down the list of our roster and just give you an idea of some folks that are on here, and not only the folks that are on here, but just kind of tell me what your first thought is. And your first thought is um, people that I think that the people that I'm going to name are people that I'm going to say, do you think we should restructure or completely move on from? And I'm not going to put some of the obvious people on here. Jesse Bates, Chris.
So I'm just gonna say cut or keep. That's what I'm gonna say.
Cut or keep. And some of these have some salary ramifications, but I did want to put on there. Shout out to Henry in the house. What's going on, Henry? He said, "Happy Monday, gentlemen, and Falcons family. Have a safe and blessed one." Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Okay. The first name is the obvious name, and that's going to be Kirk Cousins. Let me remind people, though, it's something that I think gets lost in the whole Kirk Cousins deal. And Terry Fontenot tried to explain it. Everybody was kind of like, what you talking about, Terry? What you talking about? When he said he was comfortable having him as a backup. Remember this, folks. Let's live in pretend world and say, for instance, the Falcons, instead of 2-6, went 4-4 down the stretch, made the playoffs, and Kirk Cousins would probably end up being here again. It's gonna be the same amount of money that you were allotting for this year. So when he said, people were getting that so twisted. When he said, guess what, y'all? We were gonna be in this situation anyway. Now, of course, you don't want to have a quarterback on your bench worth $40 million on your cap. But I think he was saying one way or the other, he was going to be here. So I'm comfortable with him being the backup. The Falcons are only $5 million under the cap. Folks, the salary cap is going up this year. The salary cap is probably going to go up some like $15 to $20 million.
I think like 22.
It's at least low. So when he was saying that, to his comment, I know you would. What he said. So for those who are just losing their mind that Kurt is going to be on the bench for right now, don't totally lose it. I got a feeling we going to work something out. It's probably an 80% chance when we get to draft, he ain't going to be on this team. That's just my personal opinion. What do you think?
I say keep him.
Okay. And you gotta put something on top of that. So tell me what your thought process is.
I mean, yeah. Look, if you have a bottle of ketchup that's halfway gone, and you have another bottle of ketchup that's halfway gone, you got a full bottle of ketchup. Michael Penix is halfway. Like Michael Penix has sustained injuries in the past, and Kirk Cousins has as well. But the fact of the matter is that if we don't want to be missing any beats if Michael Penix goes down, and if it's a situation where I think Kirk Cousins is at the point of his career now where I don't trust him for 17 games, but I trust him for 3.
Right.
So
yeah, this is true.
You know,
this is true.
I keep him as a backup.
Okay. All right, that's fair enough. Somebody that I'm kind of leaning towards, but I really do feel like, in my opinion, I think he's and folks in the chat, please, give your opinions too. I'm definitely trying to hear what everybody else is thinking too. What about Jake Matthews?
Keep him.
Jake Matthews. Yeah.
Jake
Okay.
Matthews and Matthews. That boy gonna play till the cows come home.
And I kind of figured you would go there as well. Again, the only reason I say keep Jake for the same reason he said, with the exception of Clay Matthews, who only got hurt near the end. Yeah. I think he's somebody that is stability, man. The one thing you can bet, if you got some duct tape, Jake Matthews is gonna play.
Yep.
And he's somebody that I think you would look at and say, you know what, he might not be what he was in 14, 15, 16, whatever, but I keep him. Keep him around. Keep him around.
I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I think they said he had the best pass blocking on the team this year. You know, I mean, so shoot, keep him around here, man.
Jake got about 5 more years.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Man. Shoot, look, he just hitting his prime. Everybody think he's about done. Like I said, he's a Matthews. Methuselah is his first cousin.
Oh man, Tiny said, hopefully Grady takes a creative pay cut. He's definitely overpaid, but I'm not confident this defense that lacks needed talent will fare well losing one of its best players. And that's the crazy thing too, folks. He is still one of our best players, whether people want to believe it or not. He especially on the defensive line. The thing is, he showed it in spurts this year.
Yeah,
he showed it in spurts. Melinda says, I think Pennett's going to show out this season. Same here. Jada says, keep Jake. Melinda says, keep Kirk as backup. James Dockery says, I like keeping Kirk as a backup. I think it would be good for Kirk to kind of guide Penix along the way as he gets used to the quarterback one position. I'll say this, James. All I needed to see was those 3 games. I'm not quite sure it's a lot of guiding that Penix is going to need, maybe behind the scenes. Yeah, but I saw enough in those 3 games to say I'm not sure of Kirk. And that's no disrespect to Kirk. I'm not sure it's anything that he could teach.
Yeah, Kirk might be asking him questions.
I was about to say. And that's no disrespect. But, you know, Toddy says keep Jake. Said Jake was very, very good in pass protection this year. And I know Toddy keeps up with those player grades that they have on there. So, yeah, I know he would know. He said he was our best pass blocker by far, and that includes Lindstrom, right, who is the lone all-pro person. Kind of a shame on that all-pro team. We didn't I know Jesse had some leaks of oil near the end of the year, but I still think he's better than Buda Baker, and they had Buda Baker as one of the all-pro safeties. And I was like, I don't know how you felt about that. James says that's what I meant behind the scenes. Okay, I got you, brother. I got you. Okay, the next name I'm coming up is a name that Willie Doc brings up, and the name is Tyler Algier. And I want to hear what you want to say first, because I have an answer for this, but I want to see if we're on the same wavelength when you talk about Tyler Algier. For 2025, Tyler Algier, would you keep him or cut him? Well, hold on. For this one, let me add keep, cut, or trade.
This isn't going to be popular.
Mm-hmm.
But I say you got to move on from them.
Yeah.
I mean, and as far as trading them, I mean, there's so many running backs that come out. Like running backs are a dime a dozen. So it's like I don't know if you can trade them. Like I think Tyler Algier is gone, unfortunately.
And let it be known. Tyler Algier this year, his salary is, and I say only like I got it in my bank account, is only $1.1 million. I'm going to tell you my logic behind trading Tyler Algier. Right now, Tyler Algier, and I think Tyler ended up with 700, or I think he ended up with 600 or 700 yards.
Really?
I know it was at least 600 because
Wow.
I remember seeing, it was at least 6. Hold on, let me look right quick. I
He
know,
didn't even really get that many carries.
Tidy is probably got that too. Hold on, rushing. Let me see. How much did he end up with? Regular season. Tyler Algier ended up with 644 yards.
Wow.
644. So here's my logic behind Tyler Algier, y'all. I hear what you saying as well, Lo. Dime a dozen. You can get some young Thundercat, as you say, to come up and do what you do. But this is one of those off seasons that you kind of have to find a team that you can make a deal with. I think about teams that need a rushing, like a Dallas. Dallas hasn't had a legitimate runner.
They drafting Gentry.
Oh yeah, I think if they don't draft Gentry, but I think Gentry might be there.
Look, is it sunny in the summer? Then they gonna draft Gentry.
So to your point, but there are other teams that you can probably have Tyler for cheap. And when I say cheap, Tyler might right now, if he was a free agent, I think he would get 3 for 12, maybe about I don't know, maybe about 8 million of that up front.
Well, look, I think there was a team that we watched last night who could definitely use Tyler Algier in the Washington Commanders.
Oh man, Washington! Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
I mean, Brian Robinson, he was the beast at Alabama and everything. But I mean, I know a lot of it's on the offensive line, but I mean, how many times have we seen Tyler be dead to rights and still fall forward? Like, if he went there, it would be crazy.
So again, as a team that is starved for draft picks right now, I'm not saying he's gonna get a 3rd, 4th, but he can definitely get you a 5th.
Yeah,
maybe a 5th round pick, or something like that. And I think on a team like us, again, that we need young talent now, I think that's the move that you would make, in my opinion. Let me see what the chat saying. Dwayne says keep Tyler. Peter Purple, what's going on, Peter Purple? He said, I love Tyler, but we can trade him for an edge rusher. I don't know about trading him for an edge rusher. You can trade him for a draft pick.
I don't know.
It sounds good in theory, Peter, but you would be able to get him for a draft pick. Scott Glover in the house, man. What's up now? He said, I can see us keeping Grady, but only if we have the specific game plan for him, and the game plan for him would be to cut that salary. That's what that's what I would do. James says, I think he's still a good second to Bijan. I think he's still got a lot left in the tank. Oh, no doubt he has left in the tank. That's not the question. The question is, he has 1 year left of free agency. You're going to have to pay him next year.
Yes.
One way or the other, Tyler Algier is not going to be on this team in 2026. You can bet your bottom dollar, because Bijan is going to come up pretty soon for a contract, and you got to say that running back money for Bijan.
Yeah.
So
and if Drake play like he did last
time. I forgot Drizzy is up. Peter had the same idea I did, but you're right. Gentry's going to probably end up coming up on there. Philip Crawford in the house. What's going on, Philip? He said, we will play 4 to 5 playoff teams next season where we compete. Here's the problem with that 4 or 5 playoff team. I'm not even going by that anymore this year. And I'll play the game at the beginning of the year, because as I run off the team low, tell me that you expect this team to be in the playoffs. Minnesota.
Nope.
Denver.
Nope.
Chargers.
Yes.
Did you?
Jim Harbaugh? Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe so. I was kind of, you know what I was thinking by contrition because of Kansas City and you know, maybe, but I can understand. Okay, I can give you that. Washington.
No.
Because nobody was going to predict that Jaden
Everybody chalked that up as an easy win.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is not to poo-poo your statement, Philip, but man, 2025 is going to be 2025. There's no telling how these teams are going to pan out. And some of these teams that look pretty good this year might go backwards.
Exactly.
I saw Joe Flacco lead a Cleveland team that basically had the same people on there this year that they did last year.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
And they didn't finish the drill. We know Cincinnati is talented as all get out. They didn't finish the drill.
Miami
talented. They only lost 2 or 4 a few games, but they didn't finish the drill. So like I said, I'm going to play the game with everybody else at the beginning of preseason and predict the wins and all this and all that. But I know we play the AFC East. On paper, looking now, it doesn't look strong to me. AFC East has Buffalo, and probably that's it. But I don't know who the Jets are going to get this year. I don't know what Miami's going to do. I don't know what will Mike Vrabel change the fortune of New England this year and bring some of those old school vibes back to what they had. I don't know. And then in the NFC, we play the West. And if you look at the West to me is only a step above the NFC South, if you ask me.
Yeah.
I mean, San Francisco, they got to do some pruning this year. All those guys aren't going to be able to stay on that team, especially since they got to play Purdy here pretty soon. And you know, I don't know. So what do you think about what he's talking about as far as?
I mean, you know, I say that every year. It's like everybody always looking at the schedule, and I said that this year when we were going into it. I was like, look, y'all, like just because they're saying that, you know, we have the easiest schedule doesn't necessarily mean we have the easiest schedule, because all of those bad teams, they're looking to try to win too. So. Right. You know, I mean, we were 7-10. We were trying to be 10-7. So, I mean, I'm sure the Washington Commanders are thinking the same thing.
Absolutely. I mean, dude, there was no way. And I'm gonna tell you the team honestly. I thought it was no way that Minnesota was gonna go off like they did this year. 14 wins. 14 wins?
Me neither.
Man, I just didn't see it. Jay Breezy in the house. What's going on, Jay Breezy? Said, if we trade him, please trade him to the AFC. We don't need to see him to come back and run through like a laxative, please.
Lord have mercy.
He said run through like a laxative.
Lord have mercy. Gas station sushi.
James says, pay him. I like to see him to have. I'm sorry. Pay him. I'd like to have him as long as we can. Got my little Atlanta Public Schools dyslexia going on. My bad, y'all. Tidy helped out. I knew I should have asked Tidy for these stats. He said Algier had about 740 all-purpose yards. And again, in the case that Bijan would go down, what a great person that you could have to back him up. But I'm just thinking fiscally right now when you start talking about, you know,
exactly.
You know, that's what we got to look at. Billy Mills says, if you ask me, I'm even listening to offers for Mooney as well, especially if a team is willing to give a third or higher. F him, I'll replace him. What is your thought? That's not somebody I had on the list, but what's your thoughts on Mooney this year? Well, there's obviously a tie between him and Drake. You see the Penix Drake combination looks like that's going to be pretty strong. But what do you think about Mooney?
I think Mooney could do even better than he did with Kirk Cousins. Honestly,
Mm,
I mean,
mm,
because just think about how Kirk Cousins started off, and he feels like Mooney kind of didn't do nothing for like 4 or 5 games. So
right.
just imagine, like I can see him having 12, 1,300 yards as well. With Michael Penix. I mean, dang, like how many times did he miss Mooney on the deep route? Like 2 times,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that was in
Yeah.
2 games. Like just imagine. Like I said, whenever we picked him up, man, I was like, man, look, everybody's sleeping on Daniel Mooney.
And I think I remember you talking about that even when Kurt had a nice little connection with him. I think about the game in Philly uh, when he had a nice couple of passes to Darnell to help that comeback that we made up in the Link up in Philadelphia.
Oh yeah,
Doing that. So that's yeah. I think all Michael Penix needs is a summer to get with these cats and you know see what we got going on.
oh
And
yeah.
I think it's gonna be real interesting. Um, somebody else that I was looking at as far as this is concerned, and to me this is kind of I don't know. I feel a little different about this one. Justin Simmons. What's your thought on Justin Simmons?
I say keep him. I feel like
And
Jimmy
y'all let
Lake.
me know in the chat too.
Yeah, I feel like Jimmy Lake did a disservice to Justin Simmons. So yeah, I would keep him myself.
I'm on the keep bandwagon too. Now, Justin came in and he's only here on the contract, and he did that so they could do something, with the money as far as that's concerned. But I could see Justin. Look, safety depth is something that we probably need on here.
Oh yeah.
I know a lot of people are excited about Helms coming back. I don't know if that excitement is matched with Richie Grant, who's finally going to be a free agent. But I just feel like he would be somebody to me that you would want to at the right price.
Exactly.
At the right price. And I don't think he's gonna. I don't think he's. I mean, do you think any other NFL team is gonna pay him $10 million a year?
No.
I don't think so
If
either.
it didn't happen last year, it's not going to happen this year.
But well, that's my point. He gambled on himself because remember we didn't sign him until what, August?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was with Judon. So I just don't see them. I don't see that. I don't see that. James Dockery says keep him. Peter Purple says buy Simmons. He can't tackle. Look, Simmons looked bad a couple of times, but Simmons can tackle. He probably looked bad a few times. But look, let me keep it real. Jesse looked bad these last 3 or 4 weeks.
He did.
Jesse looked bad. To me. Jada says Simmons another year. Henry says Justin Simmons should stay. Willie Doc says keep Justin Simmons. It was Lake who messed him up. He shares your sentiments, Low. Billy Mills says very affectionately, F Simmons. I'll replace him. He wants more. Billy ain't got no chill, man. Billy's like
Got the cap.
Oh man. T Terry says Simmons want to come back. I hope he does, man. What's going on, T Terry? Good to see you, brother. Scott Douglas says, when I say specific plan for Grady, I mean budget friendly. Oh no, I got you, bro. I got you. Jimmy Wayne says Simmons can go. Bring in Tala Hufanga. I don't even know who that is. Y'all gonna have to enlighten me on that one. Let me know who that is from that sense. I really don't.
Hufanga.
I don't want to pretend like I don't. And the last person I had on the list tonight The last person I had on the list. Let me answer that question real quick. Millie Mills says he's a safety from San Francisco. Okay, I'm not familiar with his work, and hopefully he's pretty good. Henry says, is Rondale Moore coming back next season? If so, I hope he can be a comeback player of the year. Rondale Moore is actually a free agent. When we traded him for my buddy Lowe, when we traded him for my buddy, and he was a player for player, so he is a free agent this year. So those thoughts of what he could do for the team, it kind of depends. So I think we'll probably go in another direction. You could find some fast guys. We do need somebody that can take the lid off to help my guy.
Talking about like Tyreek Hill? Or?
Tyreek Hill minus 25 million. Let me tell you something. Tyreek Hill is running from Tua. See, that's the one thing when you got these receivers like Tyreek, like Stephon Diggs, like I guess now George Pickens, who all of a sudden got clout enough to tell people that he's not optimistic about next year. I know Mike Tomlin can't wait to get rid of him.
Boy,
I come on, young man, you ain't got enough. I don't care how much talent you got. You a second round pick, man. Stop acting like you've arrived. You good, but stop it. He was the one almost got Georgia in trouble a couple years ago when they in that Georgia Tech game messing around on the field. But I think, I can't have somebody over here as a distraction for our second year quarterback. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't have distractions. Can't do it. Can't do it, man. I want to.
I agree.
He needs to be clear-headed, clear-minded, and I just can't do it, Lo. I can't do it.
I agree.
The last person that I do have on the list, and I really want as many people to answer this. And again, I appreciate y'all coming in. This is your Uncle Steve here on Uncle Steve's Lounge. This is Monday Minutia. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button for me. And also, y'all make sure y'all support my brother, as y'all already do probably, but Big Low Country Sports doing this thing on his YouTube channel. Make sure y'all give him a shout out if you get a chance. What do we do about Young Wei Koo? Yes, I meant to rhyme. What do we do?
Moving on. Wait a minute. Hold on. Like you said, I see you put a comment on Facebook the other day. Like Miss Kira, I'm popping the balloon.
Man, I don't get that show. I see them watching it, and I don't. Our good buddy Marcus Washington. Y'all make sure y'all check out Marcus on the Mark on YouTube. Marcus is always putting out fire streams out there. Yeah, I don't get the little balloon thing, man. They are all in it though. They love it. They love it. Okay, Lo. Young Wei Koo has 2 more years, and he actually doesn't have any. We don't have a buyout on his years, and he's due $4 million next year, and $4 million, 4.25 next year, or this year I should say, 25, and 4.5 in 26, and I almost have to think that's some money you can do some things with.
Exactly.
And I feel like his dead cap will be 3.5. I'm sorry, it'll be 2.5 million if they cut him. So that'll save you about $1 million something. What do you think about Young Wei Koo, man? And what do y'all think about Young Wei Koo?
It's time to go. It's time. Somebody put in the chat 12 missed field goals this year. Like,
Oh yeah, I see that. I
Come
see
on,
that.
man. Ain't
Yeah.
nobody trying to.
JBM, appreciate you, man.
You ain't gonna win no games like that. At the end of the day, like you win some games, but you ain't gonna win. You ain't gonna be playing January 13th. You ain't gonna be doing that. We playing January 12th. So yeah, there are what 200 what 190 something Division One schools. There's a kicker out there from somewhere.
Somebody. You can that's probably a position that you can mess around and find somebody undrafted that can probably come in and kick for you.
Yeah.
And you can definitely, because a lot of kickers don't get drafted. So it's not like you gotta spend a lot of money. But I think Koo burned us this year. And he burned us, and now he's gonna burn us financially. He's 31 years old. I know kickers have longevity because they don't usually get hit, but I just don't see it. T. Terry says he has to go. Millie Mill says, I'm keeping Koo. Bring in competition and tell him it's a prove-it year. I don't know. James says, I know I'm probably going to be the only one in this group to say keep Koo, but that's just me, though. No, man, that's what it is, James.
That's your opinion, man.
That's
your
opinion, brother.
Hey,
Shoot.
so I got to step on out, man. I just want to come on and holler at you right quick.
Look, man, do your thing. Tell everybody where you at right quick before you break out, brother.
Yeah, look, my name is Big Low Country. Y'all come and check us out on Big Low Country Sports. Y'all make sure you try to hit this like button for Uncle Steve, man. Great content.
Thank you, my friend. Take care, brother. Thanks again, man. I appreciate you, brother.
All right, I'll take it easy.
All right, man. Be good now. Thank you, Lo. We appreciate that. Willie Doc says keep as a camp body for competition. Tidy says cut Koo. Scott Glover says Koo, we appreciate it, but time to go. Dirty Bird says let Koo go. Dogs Rule 88. What's going on? He said I like Koo, but not as the Falcons kicker. What's up, Raymond? What's going on, brother? Good to see you in the house. Miller Mill says, I tell you one thing, if a healthy Koo would have hit that 56-yarder against Washington, though. Yeah, no. He would have, but here's the problem, though. What I can't have for my kicker, I can't have my kicker not tell me he's I need my kicker to tell me whether he's healthy or not, no matter if we keep him on. You lost some games for us, bro. You lost some games this year for us. And 70% as a kicker is unacceptable in the NFL. You can't do that. Dirty Bird says there are some nice kickers in college. I believe that too. J.O. Legit says Hughes got to go. Mike Hughes didn't have a horrible year for us, brother. I mean, when Mike Hughes was in the game, we actually played a lot better in the secondary. I'm not trying to say he's worth an extended contract, but I don't know. I like Hughes. But it's not going to hurt my feelings if he leaves. But, yeah. Dogs Rule says field goals literally cost us the playoffs. Field goals against the Saints and the Chargers cost us that. Henry says Koo has no game support. No, listen. Thank you, Koo, for what he's done over the years. He has hit some field goals for us. He hit the 58-yarder against the Saints to win this year. You know, I give him a lot of credit, but man, he missed some big ones down the stretch, man. He missed some big ones down the stretch. Smart Ride, what's going on, man? I ain't seen you in a minute. What's going on? He said, as a kicker from Louisiana that made 26 field goals, it's the one position you can pick from any division. This is true. He's right about that. You don't have to play for a big time school kicker. If I can see you can kick, I'll bring you on. Whether you're playing for West Georgia or Slippery Rock. I got to stop dogging out Slippery Rock. They made the playoffs this year in college. So JB says cut them and put them at the beer stand so we can all get drunk. Hey, I leave Koo, man. Dang, I ain't trying to disrespect, man. Oh man. Miller Mills brings up a good point. Tucker did too. Yes, he did. Coup is ours. We got to take the good years with the bad, but put his seat on fire. I don't mind the competition thing, but be upfront about your injuries though, especially as a position like kicker. We could have got somebody better than this cat Riley than we had, and I'm not even blaming Riley for the kick against Washington because we all know if we had a coach that called timeout. J.O. Legit says frustrated not to be in play. Man, let me tell you something. Super frustrated, my friend. Super frustrating. And I want everybody to realize that the mood, whoever's next, as far as the coaching is concerned, as far as this defense is concerned, you have a lot to go on. You have a lot. Because we are dependent on you. I think the offense is going to be set with young Penix, young Drake London, young Bijan. None of those guys are up for contract next year. A pretty decent offensive line. Folks, I think we're going to be in good shape next year. The defensive coordinator, basically, we're just telling you to keep the teams under 20. That's all we asking. And put some pressure on them. Put some pressure. Purple Haze, what's going on? Purple Haze, how you doing now? Yeah, man, y'all. He said, how's it going? Can only stay for a second. You understand? Yeah, I get it. Man, I'm going to tell y'all what, though. Y'all scare me a little bit against Detroit. Detroit kind of exposed you a little bit. He kind of exposed you. I'm not saying y'all shouldn't get by the Rams, but they exposed you. Skol, my friend. Skol, my friend. Good luck tonight. Rise up 2025 Atlanta. Appreciate it. I do feel like y'all should win that game, but y'all kind of scared me against Detroit. Didn't look good. Didn't look good at all. Scott said we found Coup at Georgia Southern, didn't we? I think we got him after he was kicking for the Chargers. He was kicking for the Chargers, I think, in a preseason or something like that, and then we picked him up. But I don't think we got him straight out of college. I think he was kicking for somebody, and then we ended up getting him for the rest of the year, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but I'm almost positive he played for the Chargers before he was with us. Jay Legit said, should have started Penix. Absolutely. Absolutely. Surprise Morris and getting fired. You got to know this. You probably got to know this owner, man. I don't think Arthur Blank is somebody who's going to make a snap decision like that and just get rid of him like this. I do think the leash is very short for him, though. I do feel like if he doesn't come through this year, especially if we have a losing season, I think it's no doubt that the Falcons must win 9+ and probably wouldn't hurt to make the playoffs in order for Raheem to keep his job. But I do feel like there is no kind of leeway for Raheem this year. And you can almost see, if you look at Raheem at the end of the year, he looked ticked off, which he should have been. He should have been ticked off. It was a very disappointing year this year. Very disappointing. Yeah, I mean, look, this team, if I look at it right now, folks, we gave up 3 critical games that I honestly feel like we should have won. And those are the Saints game down in New Orleans, the Chargers game here in Atlanta, and the Washington game in Washington. The only reason I don't say the Carolina game, I honestly think like the win was out of our sails when we lost to Washington. It was almost similar last year to when we lost to Chicago and we honestly didn't have a really good chance. I think that's what happened. That Washington game sucked a lot of them out. And then, of course, with some of the very questionable calls that Raheem made at the end. I think a lot. I think a lot went out of the sales then. Dogs Rule says, wow, Art went 7-9 for 3 years. Actually 7-10 for 3 years, but you get the point. You're right. That was pretty bad. Georgia Texas boy in the house. What's going on, man? What it do, Uncle Steve and Falcons family? What is going on? Yeah, we were sitting here discussing the changes that Atlanta Falcons were going to make this year. I was on here probably a little bit longer than I thought. I appreciate everyone joining us here for the Minutia, getting everybody ready for that game tonight, Minnesota against LA in Arizona. Just sending up again, just thoughts to those folks in California, man. I was sitting there talking to somebody about that, man, and you just the apocalyptic look of what's going on there with all those homes. Just be blessed, man. You are where you are at the time, and you don't have to deal with those type of things. I know football is going to be played and everything today as it should, because sometimes football is, or sports is, the great distractor. So that'll be some good stuff. But y'all keep your minds on those folks, man. That could ease. I know it's some people down in South Georgia and North Carolina with those floods that can very much empathize with those folks in California with what's going on as well. But just the love and prayers to those folks out there as they pretty much gather their life, and it's not even over yet. So hopefully those folks will do their thing there too. But this is your Uncle Steve, y'all. Thank y'all so much. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. We'll come here every Monday, even during the off season, to discuss off season moves, draft moves, summer moves, everything going into the season. Everyone, I appreciate you joining me. We'll talk more later this weekend about the playoffs. Hopefully we'll get some good games this weekend. Everyone's looking forward to the Buffalo Baltimore game. I can't wait to see how that turns out. Until then, please like the channel. Appreciate y'all. This is Uncle Steve, and this is Uncle Steve's Lounge.
You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Gonna sit down, have a good time. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Gonna sit down, have a good time. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Gonna sit down, have a good time. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge.